G'day, here we are. So, going to have a little talk about the Triton, Wilson Staff Triton driver that I've had in my bag for a couple of rounds now.
You've had it for a while, and we're going to talk about where we've come to. So we've, and also me as well, because I have hit it. I've done my own little testing on it. So right here we've got, that's the illegal carbon plate. Has nothing written on it, whereas the one that Richo's using has the DVD, which stands for driver versus driver, which is the legal version. Here's the two titanium ones. DVD means legal, that does not. And as you can see in the close-ups, it's literally 2 or 3 mil difference on the back that they've had to cut off. It's very little, but that made it illegal, and that's what it is. But we're going to talk about the setup that Richo's got it in and going to leave it in. As you've seen, he's used it at Woodford, he's used it at Pacific.
So I have had it hit with all the plates.
Yes.
Right, so all the plates. So I found the carbon plate to me felt better off the club.
And you were talking about sound as well.
And the sound, and I think the ball flight was a little bit better.
I agree. We've mucked around with this a lot. So we tried the illegals, and personally I tried the illegal stuff in the tie and in the carbon. And as you can see by the numbers, for me it was next to no difference whatsoever.
I didn't find much difference.
In regards to distance and ball speed, they were all so close to each other it wasn't funny. And it's me putting it in, not these. I didn't really find that the illegal stuff was actually longer than the legal stuff. But anyway, we're here more to talk about Richo's current setup and where he's going to leave it for now.
So, you know what, it's good enough for Kevin Streelman to put it in his bag, because he was one of the judges on the driver versus driver.
He was.
Right, so he's got it in his bag. He's got his, I think, set up with a carbon plate as well.
I think so.
So, for that same thing. So basically the same driver, except his is at 9 degrees. I've got it 9, I've got 1 up. So I just put it 1 up because I felt that the carbon fiber one wanted to keep it pretty low.
Effectively what happens, so you've got these which are the carbon, which is actually lighter than the titanium. So there's 10 odd grams difference in it. So effectively the titanium is going to pull the centre of gravity lower, which should get the ball in the air a little bit more, whereas the carbon's lighter, so centre of gravity might sneak up in the head a little bit more. But in saying that, to kind of counteract that, we've got 2 heavyweights in the back.
So this is the way I've set it up. I've got the carbon fibre, I've got the 2 heavy weights. So the red weights are the heavy weights, 1 at the back, 1 on the heel, and I've got the light weight in the toe. So that's set up for a draw.
Effectively a draw bias.
So that's the way it's sort of set up. I found that that's probably the straightest I can get with it. So when I had it set up with the 2 light weights and the heavy weight in the toe, I was doing those toey draws.
And see, some people, and this is where you've got to muck around with drivers that are adjustable. When we put the weight in the toe, Richo tended to chase that centre of gravity and struck it more in the toe. Which kind of got more gear effect left, which negates the weight being in the toe.
But I am looking, this setup here now has certainly taken out any slice. So if I aim right, it'll basically just go straight right. I've got to be careful I don't do that snap pull. But
this tends to want to go more left, I found. Like it felt like for me at neutral, it wanted to move a little bit more left. But that's why Richo's using it, because of course he tends to move it more right than left. And it's working pretty well. As you've seen on the Woodford vlogs and on the
so I played vlogs. 9-hole comp today. Used it 4 times, hit 4 fairways, and every ball went pretty well just straight. And pretty well that's what you want.
100%. And we've been lucky to be able to muck around. So same as my gear and Richo's irons as well. So my irons, over about a 6-week period, I mucked around with shafts to get what I got data and everything over 6 weeks, and the same thing come out, so I got it. We've mucked around with this for the last couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and at the end of the day, we've taken it on course, we've seen numbers, we've taken more on course, and this is what we've ended up with. So if you can do that, that's why you need to test stuff out.
And like I said, the plates, to see if there was any great difference between them. And not really. What makes a bit of a difference is the weights. Where you do put them. Like I felt that I'm getting a far better contact with the club with the weight set like that. Use it now in that setting for a while. And see how it goes. It's probably what,
5 to 8
longer than my current Cobra.
In a little bit more ball speed, a little bit more carry distance, and then whatever happens on the run out. Courses where we're starting to get a little bit of rain at the moment. So in the dry conditions that we've had, it's definitely longer than the Cobra.
Look, I feel with it, I only have to be a little bit off my swing, and I can bring back the slice with the Cobra.
Yeah.
I feel with this that I have to be really off with my swing
for it to go
way right.
Yep.
So it seems to me like it wants to close and it wants to hold its line. So, and there's reasonable amount of forgiveness because I don't strike the ball dead center all the time. And that's why I found that. So even off the heel and the toe, we had a couple even up Woodford where you went, oh mate, you got that out of the toe a bit, you got that out of the heel, and when we walked up
down there, it's pretty good.
You've gone, geez mate, that's actually not too bad. And that's what I need.
I know, I think that's what everybody needs. They do need forgiveness. At the end of the day, you're not going to strike it right. But we're going to muck around with the D300 as well.
Yep.
And we're going to swap shafts, maybe this shaft, but we're going to see how it goes.
Because they do, interchange.
Two totally different golf clubs, very, very lightweight. Is a D300 with the knobbly turbulated type thing.
So it has a lot less changeability, a lot less.
All you can do is change the loft.
Yeah, you can change the loft in
on the neck.
When we get hold of that,
we will muck around with it.
I'll take it out to the driving range and I'll purely put
this and that against each other.
And we'll see how they go.
Exactly. Stay tuned for that, guys. But this is the setup Richo's going to have in his bag for a while, and hopefully it will continue to
come back in another month or so and let you know.
Talk about it again.
We'll be able to see some of the shots that are played on the course and see what you think. But look, I think the whole concept of the drive is good. It's certainly got enough changeability to suit a lot of different players.
100%, but it's for it to win the driver versus driver thing, that's great. But for it to perform, I understand like Kevin Strulman does have it in the bag. It'll be interesting to see how his performance goes this year. Compared to other years. I think he's had TaylorMades in the past, but it'll be very interesting to see how his driving goes this year compared to previous years. It'll be interesting. So far, so good for Richo.
Certainly wants to punch forward, which is a good thing
about, and not go as far right. Guys, go check out the Wilson Triton, the D300, and any other club for that matter, and do your own testing as much as you possibly can. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Beautiful.